For the first time since November of 2022, I get to say this, and I'm so excited to say this. You're going to be so excited to hear this. It's race week. That is right. The Busch Clash is this Sunday, just 6 days away. 5 days away from cars being on track. They'll have practice and single lap qualifying on Saturday. So get ready for the Busch Clash. But we're not here to talk about the Busch Clash. We'll talk about that later in the week. We're here to talk about money. Specifically, the TV deal. The TV deal is currently under contract until 2024. As I'm sure you all are aware, FOX and NBC broadcast the races. Fox gets the first half of the season, NBC gets the second half of the season. Fox gets the Daytona 500, NBC gets the playoffs and the championship. So that's been the current deal. That's been the current setting, really, or the current channels, networks that have run the NASCAR broadcast since 2015. That is back when they started both of those specifically. Before that, it was Fox, ESPN, and TNT that had it, so Turner Sports. But Fox has been in NASCAR since, I want to say, 2001. NBC did have NASCAR for a bit and then took a little bit of a break, decided to come back in 2015. So those two are the current front runners, I guess, but there is a third option that we will talk about later. But let's talk about the specifics of the current deal and what teams want to make later. Some people I know don't want to know math and the numbers and all that stuff, but I find this pretty interesting, so I'm going to read you off some of the details of the current TV agreement. At issue is that teams want to get more money annually from the league, saying they face a major struggle to turn a profit. The largest revenue stream in NASCAR is the $8.2 billion 10-year media rights agreement with Fox Sports and NBC Sports that started in 2015 and expires after 2024. NASCAR could try to hash out a deal with teams after it strikes the new media rights agreement, sources say, but instead it plans to negotiate with teams as media talks advance. Teams do not get other monies, but the TV revenue is by far the largest stream, sources said. In the current TV agreement, tracks take in 65% of traditional media revenue, while 25% goes to teams and 10% to the sanctioning body. Via the sport's governing charter system, teams earn as much as about $8 million to $10 million per car per year from the league if they are the sport's best performers, while poorly performing teams sometimes earn around half that. But teams say it can cost around $18 million for the top performers to run the annual operations of a single car, and the rest needs to be supplemented by ever scarcer corporate sponsorship. Under the next deal, teams want a greater percentage of league funds to cover their expenses, asking for upwards of $16 to $18 million annually, or roughly double the current amount for the best performers. That could give them a better chance to turn profit if they get enough corporate sponsorship and run a lean operation. So basically, those are the specifics. You see how it's divided up between the tracks, between NASCAR itself, the teams. It's pretty heavily towards the tracks, obviously. 65% goes to the racetracks, and the racetracks, they use that money, obviously. They got to maintain the track. They've got to employ people, and also a lot of tracks recently have been actually renovating, not necessarily, some tracks have been repaved or been reconfigured, but some tracks for the fan experience, they've actually done a lot. Look at Talladega. They have a brand new infield garage experience, and also the fans can be right there in Victory Lane. I know Phoenix Raceway has redone their garage experience. Las Vegas has redone their garage experience. A lot of tracks have redone their garage experiences. So the money, all that money that the tracks are getting, they are putting back into the racetrack, into their facilities, but they are getting a majority of it. NASCAR gets 10%, as that said, but the teams want more of the money. They are the ones, throwing their money out there, putting race car drivers in cars and putting them on the line. The cars get wrecked. The cars get damaged. Parts don't get reused because they've been damaged. And then you also got to, on top of all that money, you got to pay some race car drivers. And some of them, they have a pretty high salary. I mean, look at what happened with Kyle Busch last year. But there are some high-paid race car drivers, and it takes a lot of money to run a race team, whether it's a single-car operation or a four-car operation. It takes a lot of money to fund cars, to fund drivers, to put that all together and get it to a racetrack. Also travel. That is also expensive. So there are a lot of expenses for race teams, and that's why they want more money. Obviously, they are asking for almost double than what they are currently getting from teams from the TV deal. I think it's understandable that they want more. And you look at the current economy, inflation, yes, has happened. Everything is rising in price, whether you're getting milk at the store, you're getting gas, or you're buying a TV. Prices are going up. So maybe that's got to be a factor, I'm sure. There's probably other factors. I mean, if they're barely turning a profit, and it's always been that way, that's probably the main motivator. But just found that interesting about how much percentage of the actual money from the TV deals goes to the track, goes to NASCAR, and goes to the teams themselves. But that's kind of how it's divided up. And it's also interesting to see how many each individual car gets, like the 9 car versus the 5 car, the 24, the 48. That's all under Hendrick Motorsports, but they're all 4 separate teams, 4 different charters. So found that interesting. I wanted to tell you guys all about that. But now to the more interesting stuff, the more news stuff. Adam Stern reported this morning. Fox Sports and NBC Sports want to renew their NASCAR TV deals past 2024, and Amazon is the most likely candidate to pursue a third package that NASCAR might carve out for a streaming company. That's quite interesting. Fox and NBC wanting to renew, it's not too shocking. They've invested a lot of money into NASCAR. Obviously, with a 10-year deal to have the media rights to NASCAR, but also whether it's just the production side of things, who they've hired to put in the booth or put in the pits, whatever it is, they've invested a lot of money. Obviously, NBC has that Peacock pit box. They are very invested. They advertise. The Clash has been advertised during the NFL playoffs, during the whole playoffs. So these companies, it's not shocking to me that they want to renew. He doesn't say anything about any other major networks like an ESPN/ABC, CBS trying to go for the rights. That could be possible, but who knows? ESPN currently has F1. In the United States, at least, they broadcast the F1 race through Sky Sports. CBS has the SRX series, which of course is owned by Ray Evernham and Tony Stewart. They do that in the summer. But Fox and NBC, they have NASCAR. I'm not too shocked that they want to keep it. I wouldn't be shocked if someone tries to outbid them to try to push them a little bit. But I was a little bit surprised by Amazon being that third option. I really thought it would have been a CBS Sports, but Amazon is a little bit of a surprise. Now, as I'm sure you are all aware, or at least most of you are aware, streaming has really taken over the world in terms of how you watch television. If you want to watch a TV show, you get a Netflix subscription, you get an HBO Max subscription, you go get a Paramount Plus subscription. There are a lot of different streaming options out there to watch TV shows, and that has transitioned into live sports as well. You can buy a subscription to ESPN or ESPN Plus and get their app on a smart TV. You can get Fox Sports Live, whatever they call it, watched on TV, or you can log in if you have a TV provider. So there are a lot of different options to watch TV through streaming, and it seems like that's going to be the way of the future. Amazon recently bought out Thursday Night Football, outbid ESPN, who used to have it. I think it was ESPN. Or the NFL Network, one of those two. But Amazon decided to take over Thursday Night Football. So there's one game on Thursday night every single week in the NFL. Amazon has that. So you can't get on network television and watch it. You got to stream it. You got to plug your computer into the TV. You got to have a smart TV. You got to have an Amazon subscription. You got to stream it. There's not another option. So streaming seems to be the way of the future. And Amazon bidding was a little bit of a surprise to me, but is it too soon is my question. The NASCAR fan base is older, I would say. I'm not saying they can't stream. I'm not saying they don't know how to stream. I'm not saying that. But they would prefer the more traditional television. You've got your cable, you've got your channels, you can flip through channels with a remote control and all that stuff. Great, and that's how it works. A lot of people still have that, not just NASCAR fans. A lot of people still have that. I still have that back at home. The point being, I don't know if this is true, but I would guess that the majority of NASCAR fans who watch every single week still have cable, and switching to streaming would be a big transition. I mean, heck, it was a slow transition for me to go from watching TV every day, like with a remote and stuff. I mean, still a remote, but you get my point. From going to basic television to streaming, it was a weird transition. I'm not going to lie. It was weird. You get different ads than actual TV. You can watch shows nonstop, no commercials on some streaming services, but it is a little bit weird. The point being, we're not here to talk about streaming and, commercials and stuff, but the point being, if NASCAR is going to throw streaming in there in terms of fully only showing races on streaming, I'm curious if this is too soon. I'm not saying it's going to completely tank or anything, but what would it do to the ratings? Would it hurt the ratings if they switched to streaming in 2024? That is just, the end of 2024 is like 23 months from now. So, what's going to happen there? Will Amazon actually pursue getting NASCAR? And, NBC or Fox doesn't necessarily have to be dropped for this, because they used to have 3 channels that would broadcast the races back in the day. They had Fox at the first third of the season. TNT got the middle third. ESPN got the last third. So it's not impossible to have 3 different companies broadcasting the races. It's just, if you did do 3, going from basic television to streaming to basic television, or basic television, streaming, switching that, I feel like would be a little bit weird. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but it would be a big transition, I think, to have that. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just wondering, is this too soon? Obviously, if Amazon puts up the most money, they're going to get the TV rights. But, I'm just curious if it's too soon. Most sports, for the most part, are still on basic television. And you can also get them on streaming. Like, I have to stream on the Fox Sports app to watch races, the NBC app to watch races. So it's still very possible to stream, or a lot of people still do stream because, they got the smart TVs and stuff. But I don't know if it's time to go fully to streaming. Things could change in the next year and a half, 2 years, and those negotiations could completely go towards streaming, or could completely go away. But I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm not 100% sold on the streaming. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that this is a horrible idea. I'm just saying proceed with caution, I guess. But that's all I got for this. I thought it was interesting. Thought it would be a good little video to talk about the future of NASCAR TV. I thought people would want to be updated on that, just because it is a very important topic to know what you're going to be watching NASCAR in the future. You're going to be watching it on Fox, NBC, or Amazon. So Amazon jumping in, they got a lot of money. They obviously run a lot of things. They got a TV streaming service. They got the website that you can buy stuff on. They got other stuff. It's Amazon. They got more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. It's only Monday, but we're getting really, really close to NASCAR being back. As I said, 5 days until cars are back in track. Does that not make you excited? Makes me excited. Have a great day.